The Buffalo Bills suffered a tough loss against the Houston Texans, falling 23-19 and dropping to 7-4 on the season. It was one of those games that leaves fans scratching their heads, feeling the frustration seep in as mistakes piled up and opportunities slipped through their fingers. Watching the Bills on the field, there were moments where it seemed like they were simply outmatched, yet there were still windows where a win was within reach. That they couldn't capitalize only magnifies the questions surrounding this team. Questions about consistency, execution, and whether the Bills can truly perform at a high level week in and week out. There are clear limitations on this roster that make it difficult to trust them to deliver in every situation, and this game highlighted those weaknesses in glaring fashion. As disappointing as this loss is, it also reinforces the feeling that the Bills are gradually losing ground in the AFC, struggling to keep pace with the competition around them. The offensive performance on Sunday was particularly difficult to watch. From the opening drives, the Bills seemed to be on uneven footing, with sequences that were both baffling and costly. The game began with a spark, 10 plays covering 81 yards capped by a 45-yard touchdown run by James Cook. It was the kind of play that reminded everyone of the team's potential, a glimpse of the dynamic offense that fans know they are capable of. But that momentum didn't last. Following that opening score, the offense faltered immediately, going 3 and out with minimal gain, and then fumbling opportunities that led to stalled drives. A simple first down became a -2-yard loss on a bubble screen, and a 3rd and 6 was barely salvaged by Josh Allen scrambling for just 2 yards, ultimately forcing a punt. Later, the offense struggled even when in the red zone, turning promising positions into field goals after failed execution. At one point, the Bills faced a 1st and 10 at the Houston 14 and managed only a field goal, thanks to negative plays that included a 2-yard loss on a handoff and a 10-yard sack on Allen. The drive ended in a field goal after a 3rd and 22, a play that perfectly encapsulated the frustration of this team's offense. They have the talent, they have the opportunity, but the execution consistently fails at critical moments. Interceptions and turnovers followed, compounding the problem, especially when they came immediately after Houston had marched down the field, chewing nearly 6 minutes off the clock. Even when the defense held firm and limited Houston to just 3 points, the offense's inability to sustain a drive put the defense right back into pressure situations, highlighting the team's struggle to control the flow of the game. The second half didn't offer much relief. Drives stalled repeatedly, with Allen taking sacks, fumbling after short completions, and struggling to convert on crucial downs. James Cook had a 20-yard run that could have sparked life, yet was immediately followed by consecutive runs that led to a turnover on downs at a critical 4th and 1. Key players were visibly fatigued, yet the play calling and offensive line struggles compounded the problems, leaving drives incomplete and points unearned. Field position battles were consistently lost, and even the rare moments of brilliance, like a lateral gaining 44 yards, were undermined by minor errors elsewhere. False starts, mistimed plays, and rush decisions that prevented the team from fully capitalizing. It was the kind of day where every small mistake amplified the feeling that the offense simply couldn't put together a complete performance when it mattered most. 8 sacks on Allen and 12 additional hits underscored the offensive line's vulnerability, and while Houston's defense deserves credit for its speed and physicality, the Bills were unable to respond effectively to the challenge. Yet it wasn't all hopeless. The defense, despite its limitations, provided the team with a real chance. They struggled early, giving up rushing yards and explosive plays, but in the second half, they were nearly flawless, holding Houston to 35 total yards and just 3 points over 5 drives. The Bills' defense forced 4 punts and limited the Texans to 1 field goal, giving the offense an opportunity to regain momentum. Unfortunately, turnovers and missed chances on offense prevented the team from fully leveraging these defensive efforts. The contrast between the two units couldn't have been starker. A scrappy, disciplined defense battling hard, and an offense that repeatedly failed to capitalize on every chance to score, leaving the scoreboard short of reflecting the team's potential. When examining the season as a whole, The inconsistency is clear. The Bills have alternated between dominant wins and puzzling losses, showing flashes of brilliance followed by moments of ineptitude. Scoring and turnovers and losses demonstrate a recurring theme. The offense, rather than the defense, is the unit holding the team back. In games against New England, Atlanta, Miami, and Houston, the offense either turned the ball over or failed to finish drives consistently, while the defense provided every opportunity to win. This discrepancy paints a concerning picture for a team with championship aspirations. The Bills have talent, no doubt, and Josh Allen is capable of elite performances. They have shown that in other games this season. But over 11 games, the pattern is undeniable. The offense is inconsistent, turnover-prone, and frequently unable to execute under pressure, while the defense, undermanned and facing pass rush limitations, has had to compensate far too often. Injuries have played a role, but they only partially explain the offensive struggles. Players like Connor McGovern, James Cook, and Christian Benford have battled various ailments, and key defensive contributors have been limited or sidelined. Yet even with these challenges, the primary issue remains execution. Opportunities to score have been squandered, red zone chances missed, and critical plays botched. The reality is that this version of the Bills, despite moments of brilliance, is a team that must overcome internal inconsistency to make a significant postseason run. While optimism exists in the talent and the potential for young players to step up, the team has repeatedly demonstrated the difficulty of performing consistently at a high level, especially in high-pressure moments late in games. Looking forward, the key to salvaging the season lies in development and refinement. The offense must stabilize, learn to protect the quarterback, and execute consistently. Young defensive players need experience and growth to offset gaps left by injuries and an undermanned roster. Games remaining offer a chance to test these players, to see what combinations work, and to provide critical in-game learning. Realistic expectations are necessary. This team is talented but flawed, capable of explosive performances but equally capable of critical mistakes. Fans can hope for improvement, but the track record shows that consistency, execution, and finishing drives will determine whether the Bills can compete meaningfully in the postseason. With 6 regular season games left, every opportunity counts. Offensive consistency, ball security, and discipline in high-leverage situations will define the trajectory of the season. Meanwhile, defensive growth, particularly in the pass rush and run defense, is essential to maintain competitiveness against elite opponents. There is still hope, rooted in the talent of Josh Allen, the flashes of potential from players like James Cook and Khalil Shakir, and the ability of the young defensive roster to rise to challenges. But hope alone will not win games. Execution, adjustments, and minimizing errors are what will determine whether the Bills can turn potential into results. Even as the Bills reel from another frustrating loss, there are still threads of hope to grasp onto, however tenuous they may feel. The season has shown us clearly what this team is capable of in bursts. Explosive offense, dynamic plays from Josh Allen, and moments where the defense has held its ground against overwhelming odds. But the reality is stark. This team is inconsistent, and the mistakes pile up at the worst possible times. If there is a path to a meaningful run over the last 6 games of the regular season, it starts with the offense finding its rhythm and the young defensive players stepping up in ways that will redefine the unit's identity. The talent is there. The pieces are present, but they have yet to consistently come together when the stakes are highest. The key offensive ingredient remains Josh Allen, a quarterback capable of brilliance in every facet of the game. His ability to extend plays, create opportunities from nothing, and deliver accurate throws under pressure is unmatched. Yet Allen's talent alone cannot compensate for the structural issues on offense that have plagued the Bills all season. The offensive line has been battered, leaving him exposed to relentless pressure and sapping the rhythm of the passing game. 8 sacks in a single game, along with 12 additional hits, is a number that speaks volumes about the imbalance in protection. There are moments when Allen escapes, improvises, and delivers something spectacular, but those moments are overshadowed by drives that stall due to negative plays, miscommunications, and missed reads. The offense has shown it can score over 400 yards and dominate games, but the pattern this year suggests those performances are exceptions, not the norm. Red zone efficiency has been a recurring issue, turning promising positions into minimal points. Field goals instead of touchdowns, turnovers in critical moments, and poor timing on fourth downs all compound the frustration for fans. When you have James Cook breaking off 20-yard runs only to follow them with runs that lose yardage, or when Khalil Shakir fumbles a play that could have changed the momentum, it underlines a fundamental issue. The offense is not executing when it matters most. Even brilliant moments like a 44-yard lateral gain fall short because the supporting elements, play calls, protection, or situational awareness, fail to align. The Bills' offense is like a high-powered engine with misfiring cylinders. The raw potential is immense, but the delivery is uneven and unreliable. Defensively, the story is complicated but encouraging in certain moments. Despite being undermanned, the unit has shown the ability to keep the team competitive even when the offense struggles. In the second half against Houston, the defense held the Texans to 35 total yards and 3 points, forcing punts on 4 out of 5 drives. This performance demonstrated that, when disciplined and focused, the Bills' defense can control the game and create opportunities for the offense. The challenge, however, is maintaining that level consistently. Injuries, lack of depth, and the absence of a dominant pass rush have limited the defense's ability to influence games at a league-leading level. Joey Bosa, when healthy, provides a spark, but with key veterans sidelined and young players still learning, the defense often has to operate at a level above its natural talent to compensate. Young players such as T.J. Sanders, Deion Walker, Javon Solomon, Max Harrison, and Jordan Hancock are being asked to grow quickly, to make plays in real time against professional athletes, and to step into leadership roles far earlier than expected. Their development will be critical not just for the remainder of this season, but for establishing the foundation for the future. There's a chance that these players can make in-season leaps, that they can elevate their performance under pressure, and that they can cover for the deficiencies elsewhere on the roster. The potential exists for a kind of defensive resurgence if these young athletes take ownership, improve week by week, and demonstrate growth in both technique and confidence. Yet it's a delicate balance. The margins for error are razor thin, and any slip can undo weeks of progress. Injuries continue to challenge the Bills, adding another layer of complexity to an already inconsistent team. Key contributors, both on offense and defense, have battled ailments ranging from concussions to muscle strains to lingering nagging injuries that affect mobility and performance. Players such as Terrell Bernard, Spencer Brown, Max Harrison, and James Cook have all been affected, sometimes severely, in recent games. This has forced adjustments on the fly, disrupted chemistry, and placed additional pressure on healthy starters to perform at an unsustainable level. Even minor injuries can have cascading effects on timing, coordination, and trust between units, which is especially evident on the offensive line and in the secondary. While resilience and grit are hallmarks of professional athletes, the accumulation of these physical challenges has undeniably contributed to the team's struggles. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. The NFL world is buzzing with shockwaves today as whispers that were once confined to locker rooms and insider circles have erupted into public frenzy. Josh Allen, the star quarterback who has been the face of the Buffalo Bills for years, has reportedly confirmed his departure from the team. While official details remain scarce, sources close to the situation suggest that Allen's decision could mark one of the most seismic shifts in recent NFL history. The implications of this move are staggering, not just for Buffalo, but for the entire league. Fans have long admired Allen for his cannon arm, his fearless scrambles, and his ability to take the Bills to the next level in high-pressure moments. But behind the scenes, murmurs of discontent have been growing. Some insiders hint at disagreements over the team's direction, contract negotiations, and Allen's vision for his career, suggesting that the decision was years in the making. The departure of a franchise quarterback is never simple, and speculation is now running rampant about which teams could be willing to take a shot at signing one of the league's brightest talents. Social media has ignited with fans debating what this could mean. Some argue that a move could finally position Allen in a championship-contending environment, while others wonder if Buffalo's rebuild can survive without him at the helm. Analysts are already listing possible suitors, imagining how offensive schemes would shift to accommodate his unique skill set. It's a scenario NFL executives rarely get to navigate, and the ripple effects are expected to dominate headlines for months. For Buffalo, the question is immediate and pressing. Who will step in to lead the offense? Meanwhile, the league's elite franchises are reportedly circling like sharks, weighing the cost and potential reward of acquiring a quarterback of Allen's caliber. Rumors swirl about blockbuster trades, multi-year contracts, and strategic gambles that could reshape power dynamics across the league. One thing is certain: wherever Josh Allen lands, the NFL landscape will never look the same. Fans, analysts, and even casual viewers are holding their breath, knowing that a new era is on the horizon, fueled by one of football's most electrifying talents taking a leap into the unknown. The NFL rumor mill is alive like never before, and the name on everyone's lips is Josh Allen. Will he join a powerhouse ready to contend immediately, or will a daring franchise bet on him to build around? Only time will tell, but the speculation is already enough to set the sports world on fire. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.